and C9 coming up momentarily. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone gets their predictions in. We are doing this predictions thing where you, the viewer, gets to predict who's going to win. And you know what? If you are the top predictor, you get a chance to win some cool swag. So definitely get your predictions in. And now, of course, I'm Seaside. Joining me is Bach. And we have a little bit of an interesting BO3. A mixed torqued lineup with a little bit of French twist and the lovely C9.
Yeah, see, looking at this team, it almost seems disingenuous to even call them torqued. It's Steel and A2Z from the old torqued roster, and then it's 3 members of French Canadians. So if anything, it's like a French Canadians with a twist of torqued. It is an interesting thing. I was talking to Josh yesterday, and he kind of was spilling the beans about this roster, and I don't know, they stand a chance, but I just feel like they kind of drew the short straw matching up against Cloud9 first.
It's rough. So I had a dream last night, and it's going to be very similar to this game, I think. I had a dream where I was able to pull out any tooth. So I pulled out my front teeth, my back teeth, and I was terrified. There's blood everywhere. My teeth are all over the place. And I woke up, and the first thing I did was make sure my teeth were there. And I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. This game is going to be similar. I think it's going to be C9 pulling teeth from torqued. And I don't think they're going to be able to wake up because, unfortunately, this isn't a dream. This is real life.
I was waiting to see where you were taking that one because you were concerning me a little bit.
That dream was scary, dude. I'm telling you. It was not cool.
You might want to see somebody about
Does
that.
it mean something? Does it mean I need to floss more?
I
don't know.
Some sort of meaning, some sort of dark, twisted meaning. At least you weren't pulling the teeth out of somebody else. If you were, then I definitely recommend getting checked into a mental facility as soon as possible.
They're my own teeth.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, at least you were hurting yourself. I don't know. I'm looking at just the general talent level of Cloud9. Even if this roster was formed yesterday, I still think Torqued loses this series. I got to give credit to everyone on Cloud9, some of the best mechanical players and smarter minds in North American Counter-Strike. And I do like that Steel is back and he's trying to find a team and he's building and he's working. Ultimately, like in the long run, I think the team that he runs will probably be slightly better than like GX. I'd say he's the most promising member of that iBuyPower roster when it comes to leading a team, but I just don't know if this is going to be that right team or not.
Well, I mean, we already what can you say? I mean, the maps, Nuke ban, Mirage ban. Okay, Torque don't want to play C9 on Mirage, fair enough. Cobble and Inferno, and if needed, Cash, which I don't think is going to be needed. I mean, Cobble, a map C9 aren't afraid of. Torqued, go with Inferno, again, another map C9 aren't afraid of, but it's so hard being like a glued together roster to come up with picks that you're comfortable on and maps that the other team's not. I mean, you're just gonna have to really rely on raw aim. I don't think there's gonna be too much structure to this, so I think this is gonna be over in 2. But I like being optimistic, I suppose.
Well, I like the map pool, actually. I think the map pool plays better to a team that's a little bit fresh on roster because Cobble and Inferno by nature are 2 of the more even maps in the current rotation. Actually, if you look at the breakdowns, the past couple of months, statistics for Inferno put it as the most even map, like almost deadlock. Slight edge to the T side, like 0.5% round win percentage advantage for T side. And then Cobble is the next in line. So ultimately, I would say that those 2 maps really benefit them. And then Cash is obviously the only map that's really heavily T-sided in the current rotation, just looking at like match statistics in general. But I do like the first 2 maps for Torqued. I think in general, when you've got, some young players and you've got a guy like Sabroza who could be like a can opener player, like he goes to the B bomb site fast based on spawn and blows out Broken Wall, there's potential. I just think that Cloud9 is going to be able to match that potential.
I mean, Sabroza is the highest rated player standing in right now for Torqued. I mean, at 1.30 rating, that's decent. I mean, but if you look at the teams he's been playing, right, it's been premier level stuff. I feel like Gimond and Effie's is kind of a package deal with him. So I'm excited to see how they're actually going to mesh together. And I suppose Steel's one of those IGLs that doesn't mind meshing with other players. I mean, he picked up Floppy for like, 3 games to end the season? Maybe, not even that. I mean, at least they keep their premier spot. But as you mentioned, Steel is looking for other opportunities, and this could just be, as you said, a stepping stone for what's to come for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Steel's waiting for whatever it is, the roster that's going to probably put him in Pro League. I think that he deserves that opportunity to play in Pro League. I'm just curious to see if any team is going to be willing to sacrifice the hit of not being able to play in Valve-sponsored events, which, if we're being quite honest, if I'm a North American team right now, I know we're not winning Valve-sponsored events.
Yeah.
Like, only 1 or 2 teams have ever even gotten close. So why not? If I'm a fringe team, like, I'm looking at teams like Splice or Complexity, hell, pick the man up. Because the reality is, you guys aren't qualifying for those events anyway, and just run the gamut of the lower level events, the tier 2 events, stuff like DreamHack and these other tournaments that they're letting these guys competing. You might as well make some cash instead of hoping that one day you will make money. That to me has never made any sense.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we could see like a Rogue, perhaps, or a Ghosts. But I guess it's one of those things where the organization is so hopeful for the future, because I know, I believe Ghost is backed by Weed Maps, while Steve Aoki's backing. Sorry, I didn't say that. Well,
you said it's. I think it's actually it's called something
Grass
about grass.
Maps. Grass
Yeah,
Maps.
about
Sorry.
lawns.
Yeah, my
lawn
bad.
care products.
Yeah. And Rogue is Steve Aoki, right? So perhaps the two governing bodies are just very hopeful for the organizations. I mean, but yeah, you kind of have to be a realist of the situation, right? I mean, you have C9 Liquid, best 5 players on both teams in NA, arguably. I mean, you could say they're the most stacked rosters NA have ever seen. And going into this, who really knows where we're going?
I mean, there's actually few teams left at the top level playing in like NA Pro League that are actually NA teams. So,
True.
I mean, the truth is they have kind of just taken the available talent and just pulled them up into a couple of teams and hoped for the best. And Cloud9 obviously is one of them. I don't know. I look at Cloud9 and I see a team that is probably the most promising North American roster to date because of all the young talent, and I like what I'm seeing from Tarek as a leader. I feel like he's grown a lot as a player. He's no longer like this whole joke of like the peanut brain thing. He actually called people out on Twitter for it a while ago. Tarek's actually a really smart player. He's been improving drastically over the last year in regards to how he thinks in rounds, and that's why I think he makes a perfect fit for an in-game leader, because he's a young gun. He can really run out there and like frag out heavy if he needs to, but he's also thinking more than maybe some of the other guys on the team who are more notorious for making big gamble plays, like Stewie. Obviously, everyone knows he's like the smoke criminal. The idea of him dropping a smoke, putting a flash through it, or just walking through smokes. He's notorious for it. It does work, but it's also a huge gamble. So I like having that player who's kind of in the background, like able to take those players and slow them down at times. I think that's why Cloud9 is performing at a higher level. I still think there's a little tweaks that can happen to this roster to make them unlock their full potential. That said, they're still the best team in NA. I don't care what the record for ESL Pro League says. I don't care if they missed a couple of tournaments. I still look at this team on paper and I say this is the best team in NA.
No faith in the Stanislaw JDM combo on Liquid?
Well, I mean, what about Stanislaw?
That was, yeah, I know, memes, right? Anyway, moving on swiftly. Steel is playing for Liquid now, of course. Did you know Tarek actually made merch with that peanut brain thing?
Did he really?
Yeah, he made it's like a head with a peanut in it. I don't know if it was a joke,
awesome,
but I'm pretty sure he came out with merch to go with the joke. So, I mean, there's that.
I'm sure he actually sold a fair amount of that.
I'd probably buy one.
I would consider it. I mean, I don't necessarily buy esports apparel. It's not my thing.
What about that jersey on your chair, though?
That was a gift.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now it's worth a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, right. It's a collector's item.
It's a collector.
It'll be an antique one day, if unless unless CLG ever comes back to Counter-Strike.
That's another thing that sucks for the NA scene, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
losing
that's
two orgs, right?
Two major orgs. Like we lost Immortals and we lost CLG. That's actually a big problem. I mean, I guess the flip side of that coin is that other orgs in NA are actually getting massive backers. Like Complexity recently had Jerry Jones invest, and that's huge because sports money coming into esports. Even though I'm like not a huge fan of Jerry Jones because fly birds fly, I'm an Eagles fan for life. Dallas Cowboys suck, but I like the fact that traditional sports are now seeing the value in esports and the money that can potentially be made. They obviously add a serious boost to the cash flow for these orgs, which means bigger players, bigger contracts, et cetera, it goes down the line. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, I'm looking at that saying, I like that the other orgs that are still here are being supported, even if we're losing orgs that weren't being supported, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and another thing that actually Anders tweeted out today that I found to be intriguing. He said the next step for esports is to kind of have like your ground level kind of platforms, right? Like kids can sign up and play on teams, right, locally, and have competitions and like work your way up like you do in sports, which it's an interesting concept. That's kind of like probably way out of the way, but future perhaps.
Right now, we're just waiting.
Waiting.
I know people are probably like, guys, start the game. Believe it or
Casters,
not,
just let them play.
my start game button is actually broken, so I can't start the game. I gotta wait for the players to do it. But I believe we're gonna be jumping into it in just a second. So it'll be Stewie, Tark, Skadoodle, automatic rush for Cloud9, Steel, Gimon, A2Z, Sabrosa, Effie's for Torqued. It should be an interesting series. I just really don't know what to expect out of Torqued. I think that's the ultimate question, is what's Torqued going to bring to the table with these 3 players coming in from French Canadians, that French-Canadian infusion.
Well, keep in mind, they did decide to start on the T side as well. And it looks like it is going to be a quick A play. C9 do have 2 players towards long A. It looks like Torqued are just going to ignore them, run right in the site, but this sets C9 up perfectly for the retake. As Automatic is going to hold the cross, and Stewie gets the first, immediately traded back. As Torqued still have to fight up the ramp. I think they missed. Now the smoke hit, but they're trying to fight in front of it. As Terror comes through the smoke, and all of a sudden it just Steel last one up. A gush and a flick from Skadoodle to finish it off. C9, well, I don't know if that was part of the plan, but the plan definitely worked with the 2 players long A to shut that down.
So Cloud9 with the pistol win. That'll propel them forward with some SMGs. You got to watch out for the pistols on this map. Cobblestone in general lends itself well to force buys due to all the close corners on the map. If you look at it, it's like a labyrinth. All these tight corners and angles that have to be cleared. See a very high success rate for pistol armor buys on maps like Cobble. T side's going to be moving towards B. A2Z's already blown past the molly, and he's going in towards the drop room, where we've got Rush playing on the other side. C9 is trying to play passive, and they do. The nade lands right inside there. Effie's is going to go down. That's also the bomb drop. That could actually be the round in and of itself. It'll be very difficult to get into the drop room and get that bomb and do anything with it, as the CT side is already crushing on that area.
Gimon will try. He actually pushes up and uses the smoke to get himself in that corner. Typically will get checked if CT decides to push up. A2Z in E-box. C9 not planning to be caught off guard at any moment, but A2Z and Steel, actually it's more A2Z. Our main finds 2 kills out of what seemingly was an impossible position. And A2Z and Steel will work together to try to get this bomb out of here. They have an MP9 salvaged. Struggling with the boost, but they will clean it up, as A2Z is on 12 HP, so a lot of work still to be done here for Torqued.
Bomb backpedaling out now. Steel's hoping he can get a bomb plant out of this one. A2Z's got to stick around, make some noise if possible, try and keep them at bay. He's over towards the drop room. Stewie and Automatic on the other side of the wall. And Skadoodle has rotated all the way back towards this B bomb site, heading in towards a spot that should be very familiar to anyone who's watched Cloud9 play Counter-Strike over the last several years. Infamous from the play against NIP. Steel, though, has made it all the way up the plywood wall, and he's working his way in towards the B bomb site, or A bomb site, excuse me. With the MP9, he's executed by Skadoodle as he goes up top. A2Z is so far away from the play. There's only 10 seconds left. Steel is really just hoping for a bomb plant at best. A few more kills wouldn't hurt. It'll come down to 2, but Cloud9 survives the round. 2 rifles going to make it into the next one as well.
A2Z able to find damage towards drop, but ultimately wasn't enough. We'll see Torqued go into a full save here. C9 will buy up a rifle, perhaps another SMG on rush to try to farm up some cash. That's exactly the play. Let's see, we'll get his full utility plus a kit behind it. All head armor on the C9 side, not wanting to get caught by these pistols, because there's always a chance a team will go for upgrade. It is just Galox. Skadoodle's just going to be peeking mid. No fear whatsoever. Willing to take these duels, knowing it'll be pretty much nothing, and he's completely correct in this. As Automatic hears this long A push coming and should shut it down. Pretty simple. Pretty easy work. Doesn't really have to break a sweat. Pulls out the pistol. Needs some support. So they lose 1 player. Is that going to get picked up? No, all the players around there actually have rifles. So they'll lose a M4. Actually, no. Stewie upgraded it. Excuse me.
He upgraded
he
from
was
the
there.
FAMAS.
He was there. Was within reach.
The big thing right now with that round was C9 saving a lot of money, so kind of helps them out moving forward, especially with Torqued on this first buy round. We're going to see AKs across the board for the T side, a couple of mollies in there as well. And we'll see now what Torqued is capable of on this map. Flashbang early for Stewie in mid to try and peek out. There's a double play on long, which is interesting. Both Automatic and Skadoodle for Cloud9 are pushing up on long. We do have A2Z and Effie's watching for the push, but the bulk of the players for Torqued are working over towards B. That smoke goes down, and Tark's going to play on the other side of it. So is Steel. He's already crept past it towards the big box. Flashbang comes in from drop room. Still no action yet. No one spotted one another. Steel's butt's going to swing out from behind the box. He gets spammed down by Tark. Good damage dealt, but Tark stays alive, and that's the early man advantage for Cloud9.
That's so unfortunate for Steel. That first CT flash kind of ruined his whole play. And a dink through the box, and then wow, with Skadoodle finding A2Z, they've essentially lost map control. They've gained towards A. Effie's is here alone, but now he's pretty much either committing to a fight or falling back completely. As C9 have been heavy towards this A site, especially towards long, as Torque will find success towards drop room. Seems to be the point of access for them so far in this match, but they still need to get the bomb. Still plenty of time for C9 to rotate. And now it comes down to a who's going to peak first type of game until this bomb can actually get towards Plat.
Sabrosa just sitting inside drop room waiting for his team to get into position. Skadoodle and Automatic both heading in through the door. Automatic moving up closer to the rock. Tark's playing back by Chicken Coop. He's got to be careful. He's low on HP, just sitting on about 14. Again, that man in drop is kind of the big problem. Sabrosa's going to be coming through E-Box in just a second. He can't see Tark yet. Tark's hiding, and he's looking for him, but he just doesn't see him. Finally, one will peek out. It'll be Automatic to lose his life. There's Sabrosa with 2 quick kills. It's up to Tark backside. He only gets 1. The bomb's been planted. It's a 2v1 here, and Cloud9 is at the disadvantage. It's Stewie. We'll see if God Stu can come up with the big play. Sabrosa's to his immediate right. Does he clear it? Of course he does, but he just starts to peek away. Assuming it's clear, it's a 4K from Sabrosa, a big round for Torque. And we talked about that player in the pregame, the potential power of Sabrosa to open up rounds, and he does it here for Torque.
Sabrosa's a player, a Canadian player that's known in the Toronto/Montreal scene. I think he's come close to winning multiple LAN ETSs. And I mean, he's gone through the phases of a good player, right? You go from who is this guy to always cheating to finding consistency and actually being allowed to hang around the premier level. So he's gone through the rough shades of the pro player life. And he's just been someone that impresses me consistently. So I'm excited to see if he can actually continue this toe-to-toe potential that I know he has going up against one of the best teams in North America. Torque picked up the first rifle, looking for the second. Enough cash still in Skadoodle to get this off out, no armor. As you can see how strapped C9 are after losing that first rifle. And that's really due to Torque on their upgraded pistols after losing that pistol round, hurting C9's economy. They didn't really give them a lot of room to breathe. They killed 3 players. And you can see the impact of that early.
Now, we did talk, they had a little bit of money left over because the round prior to that, first buy round, 4 players survived. So really, it's only Stewie who's down on a pistol. The money is tight. Skadoodle's on a glass cannon. Utility isn't really what you want it to be. But they've actually held them at bay pretty good considering. Finally, though, Torque looks like they are going to be gearing up. Again, it's Sabrosa who's got drop room control. He's made it up to E-Box. I have a feeling that's going to be a consistent thread in this first half. Is Sabrosa getting drop room control and exploiting it? Steele on the other side of the smoke. Here's the spam coming through from Tark. That's over towards the stairs. So that's at least knowledge that there's one player here. The big problem is whether or not they anticipate Stewie to also be hiding in this corner. They do have a molly if they want to try and flush him out. That's in Effie's hands. It's just a matter of whether or not he throws it there. And it looks like he was prepped to throw it towards the stairs. Instead, they're going to run in blind. Stewie gets the first one. Mighty second. No, he does not. Runs dry on the magazine. It looked like he had it, but unfortunately falls short. It will be Skadoodle with a glass cannon. And it almost might be save territory here, but he's already made it through the door, so he seems dedicated to it. 10 seconds left, and the bomb goes down, and that should be the round for Torque.
Looks like Skadoodle's just waiting, hoping someone peeks him. And Torque, no, they don't have to. Skadoodle should get spotted. A2Z finds the last 2K from him. And Skadoodle was hoping to catch a player crossing sight, but a well-placed smoke from Torque allowed them to cross, get that plant, and now put C9 in a 1-round save territory. Perhaps pick up some pistols. You're going to get 3-round loss. You're looking at $2,400, but for now, it's Torque in a really good position at a time that's up at 3s. And it could just be the situation of C9 needing time to warm up, and Torque coming in. And I mean, I guess there's no pressure for Torque in a situation like this. I mean, just, do what you want. I don't imagine Steele's going to be calling that much. Probably just play to your strengths, do what you think's comfortable.
Yeah, that is actually true. Like, there's pressure on Cloud9 to win this map, because if they lose this series, even if they win 2-1, that's not exactly something that looks good for a team who is touted as the best in North America to lose to a team that was actually, like, a decent team in MDL, but still didn't even qualify for MDL, then swapped out their roster for another team that managed to make playoffs, but then bombed in their first round. Like, yes, French Canadians and Torque were decent MDL teams, but they're not Pro League teams, and both of them struggled towards the end of the season. So I wouldn't say that Cloud9 really should have a difficult time with this game at all, but it does seem at first that they are struggling. That said, it's still early. It's only 3-2. Give them time.
Very early. And the nice thing is with C9 being as skilled as they are, there's chances to adapt and change. As this is just a full pistol stack. Skadoodle full blind finds Sabrosa. These pistols put in a position where they can deal damage. Rush can't land any shots. A couple body shots as Tarek will be playing around the smoke, and Gumond will just hang around towards Plat and will catch Tarek. Now, do you call him Gumond or GMD? What do you normally run with? As the French pronunciation sometimes can be a trip.
It's Guimond, actually.
Guimond?
There's no D. It's silent. It's Guimond.
Guimond?
This was confirmed by his cousin once when he was watching a game that he was playing in.
Well, that's nice of his cousin.
Yeah. Well, the good news is there's been an update detected as well, so...
Oh, perfect.
Fingers crossed about that one. Hopefully that won't be a problem moving forward. We'll see. Obviously, we can't anticipate what kind of update or how long that might take if there is, in fact, a problem. Cloud9 and Torque now at tie point 3-3. The op's going to come back out again. It's going to be a glass cannon yet again for Skadoodle, as the loss bonus didn't really accumulate enough. It didn't pool up enough for them to go deep in the buy. So they're light on utility yet again, and also a lack of a kit, which means that if it comes down to it, a fast take that results in a 5-on-3 post plant might be a round where Cloud9 is forced to save just due to sheer lack of utility to get into the site and a kit to actually give themselves the time to work with. The CT side is spread out with 2 on A and 3 towards B. Stewie's going to go for a fresh resmoke on B platform. Automatic's falling back now from long. He's joined with Targ. That op and Skadoodle is over on the B bomb site, but it looks like Torque is going to be leaning towards A here in just a moment. Sabrosa a little late behind the play, and Steel just kind of hanging back by B to catch off potential lurkers and flankers.
Fuse will be the first to slowly take this towards long A. Keep in mind, C9 did a late boost up towards elbow. That is Tarek up there holding towards mid, and Automatic's going to be that rotator / door player. So if they feel that any other player in B, Automatic can be there, but he's also just a stone's throw away from helping out Tarek, who is out of utility and pretty much in the open, where if he gets spotted or takes a one-on-one, it's ideal for Torque. They can trade him out immediately. And you can tell Torque are almost expecting this, but Kimon leaves it back to the open, and Tarek will get traded out from Sabrosa. They're going to continue this push in towards the A site, and Sabrosa will lead the charge. Left that one to hang, as C9 will clean up. As you can see how quick Automatic was able to jump out of balcony, get himself underneath the window, and even had a player crossfired within sight, and they just locked that one down. 4-3 for C9. Torqued, of course, enough cash to buy up here. It's going to be UMP, Steel. Should it get dropped a gun or an SMG? A2Z's talking to him about it, so A2Z is just going to go ahead and get the AK. Steel will go with the CZ.
See what Cloud9 can do here against this sort of split buy where they've got 3 AKs, the AMP and the CZ75, as you said. Steel has been the AWP presence for the T side, but the major problem for, I think, both teams has been, or for Cloud9, excuse me, for that matter, has been drop room control. Rush has been really struggling with containing that area, and Sabrosa's been exploiting it round after round. Sabrosa, again, going towards that same territory. He's got a smoke ready, but there's a counter smoke coming in from Cloud9 at the exact same time. So that will delay things a little longer. And again, Cloud9 right now, they want a round just like last round. Clock control, just taking it down slowly and surely, lower and lower and lower, to the point that Torqued is forced to run into a bomb site with 20 seconds. They don't have a time to clear all the angles. They just got to dedicate themselves to the plant. It leaves them vulnerable, and it leaves them a man down with that guy dedicated to planting the bomb. Steel has made it all the way out on Broken while he's back behind the box with the CZ. He's just peering towards the steps looking for intel. He's not going to see anything as of yet. No one really playing out that far. Stewie is playing back behind Statue with that op watching Broken. I don't think he anticipates Steel to be out this far. Steel's finally going to peek out further, right into Stewie. Stewie can't see it. He's scoped up. Steel finds a second. Great from him. Rush is going to fall, and that's the B bomb site crumbling. At this point, this is a save. Cloud9 have no business going for this. It's a 2v5, and the guns hold way more value.
That is such a smart play from Steel. Get out behind double boxes, make no noise, just peek stairs, hope someone from the C9 makes a mistake. And as you mentioned, wait down the clock. Torqued will just take advantage of it into this round where Steel just catches Stewie looking towards Broken Wall, not ready for him to be plat already. And he wins the duel this CZ against an Opper, and he even gets a second for it. Torqued will tie us up at 4. Skadoodle Automatic gonna try to take away some of these weapons if they leave. But for now, this is just safe territory for C9, as Torqued will keep 5 members alive and make out like bandits. That UMP becomes an AK, Steel CZ becomes an op.
It's a nice upgrade. You know, it's interesting to me to see the shift in meta to the CZ75 again. The gun really hasn't changed. All that happened was the 5.7 and Tech9 got worse. And then people remembered how good the CZ was. It's interesting. Like, the gun is honestly the same. But I've watched just how popular the CZ has gotten in the last couple of months. And it's a little pocket cannon again.
It's scary.
Like, the fact that Steel can do that with a pistol on the same magazine. He didn't even reload. He gets 2 kills on the same mag. That wins them the round effectively, because there's then only 1 player left on B, and he's not in a good spot to deal with both broken wall pressure and drop room pressure. So ultimately, like, the whole play falls apart because of a pistol. Limited investment, that's all it took. Now, the CT side here is not feeling that need to go limited investment. They spend as much as they can to stay alive in the round. Skadoodle's got himself his AWP saved from the previous. Full utility behind it. Tark with the scout, an UMP, a FAMAS, and then the AK, the other salvaged gun on automatic. Again, the clock ticking lower and lower. Limited action early on. No early fights. Used to seeing a lot more deaths at this point, but things are slow. Torqued is being careful. Cloud9 is being methodical. They're not getting overly aggressive. The first shot finally comes out. That'll be on to Steel. Is the nade going to be enough up and over the top? Yes, it is. Wonderfully thrown by Skadoodle. That's a 200 IQ nade. And that gives Cloud9 a man advantage.
Well, it looks like the bomb has different ideas. This is looking like it was shaping up based on Steel's pick. They'd head over towards the B site. Now it is a drop room split. Stewie has lost Sabrosa, who's standing on the windowsill, will jump out now. Another leg shot comes in. As Tarek with his scout, well, it takes 2, but he will find the frag. As Torque now have really no choice but to go towards A. They have no macro elsewhere. A2Z will molly backside with his teammate. Automatic can be forced into the open. Can they land the shots? They can, but look at the rotations. C9 is everybody over here, but it's A2Z. Armin to find a double entry, and now it's Iman in a 1v1 against Skadoodle. 11 seconds, and he'll be able to plant as the bomb will go down.
The young player from former French Canadians, now playing with Torqued here in the 1v1 against Skadoodle. Very smart player. Skadoodle may have just seen him, so Guimond might have seen him as well, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Guimond's going to get shut down by Skadoodle, who will run alongside and pick up a little bit of utility before he sticks that bomb. It's still a very costly round, and with the bomb plant, there's a lot of money coming to Torqued here. So actually, this is a good point for Torqued, because again, they're keeping the money low for Cloud9, so they have them at a reset point. Skadoodle's going to have to buy and drop just to make sure they have guns for everyone, but even after the buy, Torqued probably has more money left over than most of the players from Cloud9.
Exactly the case. And one thing I've been noticing that it's been going pretty well for Torqued is Sabrosa staying alive, but also keeping drop room relatively in their control. We saw this early on, and it seems to be a pattern where Sabrosa will just keep pressure there. He doesn't mind getting down in drop room, but more importantly, he stays alive and keeps that pressure there. This round is actually towards plat, as it's shaping up looking like it's going to be a full smoke execution. But I've been very impressed with how he's been able to take that control.
Stewie, creeping up to the stairs. He's playing in a position back behind this smoke that could leave him very vulnerable in just a moment. A lot of players moving up to that position. This is boomer bust style of play from Stewie. Skadoodle is going to hit that first with the op. Stewie still hasn't been spotted. Finally on the other side of the smoke. Okay, and there you go. That's the boom or bust potential of Stewie. Guimond dies in drop. That's a massive round for Cloud9. That's something they absolutely needed. Torqued's money is no good. It's going to be a save probably coming in. They'll be able to buy after this. But Cloud9 really needed to assert themselves on that B side, because that's where they've been getting exploited pretty heavily. And Stewie just makes a gamble with that ump. He plays on the other side of the smoke. The AK gets traded out halfway through, and he just goes nuts, picks up 3 kills. Great play from him.
And it's a shame that Torqued felt pressure that they had to go through that smoke. It played right into that play from Stewie. They felt the need to try to push stairs. They had the flashes going over top, the mollies to make them feel more comfortable. And of course, it's Stewie to sit there and catch them off guard as Torqued will go into these upgraded pistols, 2 deagles, a CZ. As C9 will avoid being reset. As Torqued again set their sights towards drop room. Great flash will force rush off. He can't find the doorway. He gets caught on the wall, and Sabrosa will upgrade to an AK. It's a scary man to have one in his hands, but his teammates still lack that firepower. So it's all in Sabrosa again to open up this site, and they have to catch Tarek off soon.
Torqued boosting 1 up and over the top. They got to watch out for the flank. Automatic is moving through from the back lines. as he slowly slithers through past the Dragon Lore. It'll be actually A2Z to hit a nice deagle shot on Tark. That actually prevents this flank from being as powerful as it could be, but they stall on Broken Wall, and as a result, Automatic's going to get 2 as they line up. That turns things right back around. That deagle shot could have been what they needed. Instead, it's all just for show. It'll be Effie's here as he gets gunned down in drop room, trying to leap through the window. Skadoodle's there with the no-scope. It'll be 7-4, and Cloud9 again finds a round they needed. It got a little scary there once A2Z hit that shot because they could blow up, and then that flank play from Automatic isn't there. They're actually able to secure the site, get the bomb plant, and maybe find one more kill before Automatic finally comes in. Instead, it's just nothing. Doesn't matter. Water under the bridge. T-side will be buying again. No op in play for them. There will be one for Skadoodle, though, on C9.
Water under the bridge that Torqued want to burn as they want to get back in towards this game, lower this gap, get back into a reasonable scoreline. As it is just going to be a spread default for them. C9 still willing to play 2 players towards long A. This is going to be Automatic and Tarek working together. Skadoodle will float around with his op. This time he's playing Statue towards B. Torqued, again, slowly but surely using the time given to them to gain map control. Looking for drop room in a moment where they are doubled up, E-box and underneath. And that molly will force them back. So they're able to smoke off Rush's position. And they will go ahead and exchange this valuable utility. It looks like Torqued still want to go for this. They're going to flash Stewie. Just playing in windowsill, waiting for that sound cue. He is going to peek into it. Guimon can't find the frag, and Stewie finds them both. That's the B side pressure shut down from Torqued, who are now funneled into A.
Good entries there from Effie's, though, to turn things back around. Make it a 3-on-3. Effie's looking for one more. Catches the target falling off the roof. Can't finish with the damage that was dealt. Tarek manages to escape with limited HP missing. He'll hide back in sight, watching for a push coming in from A2Z. Again, the clock is ticking pretty low. The flashbang isn't there deep enough, so as a result, not going to work out well. And Steele's now flanking through connector. He could actually take this bomb and go plant B and get the guaranteed cash, but he's going to make him think he's already done that. Sitting up on the other side of the door, waiting for the push to come through. There's one. Could have had a second. The third would have been there likely for the trade. It's around for Cloud9, but Torqued did a little bit of damage at least, keeping the monies low. That's important moving forward, but Torqued is starting to hit that wall, and Cloud9 is starting to heat up.
Yeah, C9 are just making those changes. They realize drop room has been an opener for Torqued, and you can see the change there. Instead of just having a player play passive outside window, they're just going to double up in E-box/drop room window. And I mean, it's Stewie to find both of them there. It doesn't even need the help from Rush. But those are the little micro changes C9 don't mind making. They still feel confident to play 2 towards A and make the appropriate changes towards B. They still want to fight plat, but it's more scarce. They're still able to do it, just not as often as this game started off with. And just the Automatic playing behind a smoke. Torqued, not a lot in their favor on round 13, although they do have armor and some utility. So I wouldn't count them out to find a couple frags, but it's capitalizing once they get those rifles in their hands and not doing that almost micro hesitation step that we've seen from them throughout this game.
Right now, Torqued is just hanging out inside B halls, waiting for the smoke to fade. That's down deep. Tark's holding on B platform. Cloud9's really starting to hit their stride. Nade's going to go up and over boost. Does a little bit of damage there. The guys from Torqued are already scratched up here, sitting on 80, 73. Effie's also on 43. So damage has been dealt. It looks like it's about time for them to try and move this play in towards B, though. They've got a 2-man hold on Broken Wall. So Tark is playing back behind the box, and Stewie is there as well. The flashbang was in, but they didn't really have anyone peeking out that time. The smoke's going to go down for the cross. Stewie gets mollied off. They've still got Tark here, and I don't think they anticipate another player hiding in this position. This is exactly what they did with Stewie not that long ago. The AK opens up. Tark gets 2. Rush is going to get 2 with the help of Automatic. A third goes down as well. It's Cloud9 finding their 9th, and Torqued is just really not pushing past that early success. This is something we were worried about when we were watching Torqued play. We were worried that, yeah, they might be able to get a few rounds, but eventually they're going to run out of ideas because it's a fresher roster. You know, what realistically could they be doing? I don't think they really have much practice with each other, maybe 48 hours worth of scrims. Like today and yesterday, I think the roster was formulated. How much could they have possibly put in to all of the maps, let alone Cobble?
Yeah, and it's hard for an IGL like Steel, right? I mean, yeah, you can make a call, but how in depth can those calls be? It's not going to be anything crazy. It's going to be the basics, and there's not going to be a lot you can run with. So it's just, you know, making these micro changes, and it's hard for Torque to answer back. Perhaps the aim is enough as they won't check Stewie. Gets the opening one. Can he spray for the third? Of course he can. Stewie towards Plat is always a deadly force. And now he's a foe to Torque as Sub-Rose is alone in a 1v4, and it's Stewie to get the 4K. I mean, he is just looking fabulous as always into this game. He impresses on land. He's just been this consistent, scary player as Torque still don't really have an answer for what C9 are dishing out. But again, I don't want to really read too much into it. New roster, not a lot of practice time, and it limits what Steel can really do with these boys. So, going through the motions.
Flashbang up and over again as Cloud9 is starting to get a little bit more aggressive with every single round that plays out. You can see them feeling more comfortable pushing up on long, pushing up on broken wall. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they even decided to counter boost into drop room at one point in this round. And, you know, you're kind of starting to see that. Stewie's getting close, so is Rush, but they do decide to back off. A kill comes through, that's automatic in mid. That's 2 kills down. A2C and Sabrosa sitting on the Pine Pony for the remainder of the round. Skadoodle watching long. Automatic, he's like, hey, I saw what you did last round. I want to do the same thing. Automatic now wants the ace. It's Kimon, who's now watching through the window. And Jesus Christ, Automatic just gives him a haircut. See you later, kid. It's 11-4, Cloud9 shutting down Torqued on their CT side.
That was so disgusting. I think we're going to need to take a 60-second ad break.
My name is Tim the Tap Man. I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel.
Let's go! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the CyberPowerPC tourney, as we are at the halfway point of C9 and Torqued, 11-4. Again, I don't want to really talk, or not necessarily talk, but read too much in towards the first half. I mean, not high expectations. Torqued came out swinging early, but then it was C9 to just make those micro adjustments, and you can see time together makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think ultimately, if anyone expected Torqued to come out and have some impressive first half and really put up big numbers, I mean, you would have been sorely mistaken. I'm pleased that they were able to do what they did at points. They had moments where they could have controlled the game a little bit better. I mean, if you look at the way they controlled the money early on, it was like they had Cloud9 right on the edge for a while. If they could have just broken the money, like, if they could have just pushed them over. They were, like, standing on the edge on their tippy toes. Little dust and pebbles was flicking into the river beneath. They just needed to push them off that cliff, because then Cloud9 would have been on, like, back-to-back ecos. That's a chance for Torqued to really put their name into this game. They were potentially looking at, like, a 9-6 or an 8-7 half. Instead, they go down 11-4 because of it. It's those swing rounds that are so, so important. And then the biggest issue was Stewie started getting really confident. Automatic picks up an ace at the end of regulation. Skadoodle's hitting his stride. Now everyone's chipping in. That's the fear if you're Torqued. Like, you had a chance at one point, but now that these guys are kind of waking up, I feel like the game's going to end pretty quickly.
Well, it might help if Skadoodle misses a smoke. That could help the Torqued side out. Yaman's going to find the opener. Even finds a second for it. As Kimon gets a third out of nowhere. Finally, Tarek will take him down. But he is all of a sudden the last man standing for C9. So one missed smoke gives room for Yaman to swing. And all of a sudden, Torqued have a 4v1.
Tark is just by himself now. He's got the bomb, so, I mean, maybe he can somehow finagle a plant out of this one, but let's be realistic. Seems unlikely. Best case scenario is he picks off a few players, catches them making mistakes, catches them out solo. So just steal. He's got an armorless P250. He's moving in through the back lines. Tark manages to escape his vision for the moment, and that'll allow Tark to at least try to work towards B. FE's is going to be sitting backside, so really limited chance that he even gets in here. A2Z's also watching the cross through the doors. So Tark's chances just keep getting smaller and smaller. The more ground that Steel gains, the more and more he's going to realize this is 100% an A play. Tark's moving the bomb towards A, or at least attempting to. And more bodies are starting to join this A-side defense. Sabrosa has now dropped into backside. So really, Tark should die in just a moment here. That USP's finally been spotted. Down he goes. A great round from Torque. 4 players survive. Fantastic work from Guimon with the pistol to give Torque a little bit of a leg up in this second half.
Well, will it be a leg that they can put weight on and hobble around and perhaps grow a second? As they will buy up the triple SMGs. Guimon, due to him getting a 3K, will go head armor M4. Still follow suit with a FAMAS. So they'll allow the SMG players to pick up that utility. C9 will go into your typical, nothing crazy, upgraded pistols, and Tarek on the scout. As you will see, C9 leave 1 player towards B, 4 towards A. And pretty much rounds like this is 1 misstep from a CT, get a gun, snowballs from there, but it doesn't look like Torque are going to let that happen. As I say, that ATZ will take a risky peek, but he is just going to safely fall off now.
Big kill coming in from Automatic. Gotta fear these Deagles when in the hands of Cloud9. For whatever reason, the brand has always been very powerful with the pistol armor buys when it comes to the Deagle. However, this time around, they seem to at least momentarily be thinning out. Stewie and Tark are all that remain. Steel, A2Z, and Sabros are all very low on HP. This could turn around at any moment, especially Tark having that scout. Everyone is almost in one-shot potential there for the scout. FEs would be borderline. Still, though, we've got Stewie holding the bomb. He's trying to work over towards B. Tark split apart, so they're moving to opposite sides right now. Stewie with that bomb trying to move towards B. Sabrosa just jump-checked, but he didn't see him. That might instill some false sense of security in the CT side. No, they're not coming B. Don't worry about it. He's probably rotating towards A. They're going to see Tark in just a moment here. Jump peeking, making lots of noise. The guy Cannons is going to at least call this out. A2Z should be able to move up from mid-wall and hear it as well. Yeah, they hear this guy. Steel knows that he's here. But they haven't spotted anything yet. 30 seconds left on the clock, and they still haven't made their move. Finally, Tark dies. Stewie's going to start to move in towards this B bomb site. He's got an ump. He drops off the broken wall. We've got Sabrosa still lingering on in backside, hiding in the chicken coop. Stewie doesn't stand much chance at planting the bomb unless he somehow does it to hide himself from the chicken coop. But likely going to be planting on the other side of the statue. No, he spots Sabrosa. Somehow Sabrosa has no idea he's there. So Stu's going to get a bomb plant out of this. This is a great scenario for Cloud9 to find themselves in. Even if they lose this round, getting the bomb plant out of this is huge, because that's money in the bank.
And you could see the damage dealt from all these body shot Deagles, Steel, A2Z, Iman. They're all heavily tagged from the Deagles. And you're right. I mean, this bomb plant helps them a ton. I could see another round where they'll just go for upgraded pistols. It is just going to be another save, of course, from C9. But it could be another round where the scary Deagles come out to play without the armor backing. But it's another round that C9 can continue to be deadly and scary, as C9 want to try to make the gap as small as possible. But this opens it up again to C9 to allow these Deagles to come out. And Stewie's going all in. He's got kills with that SMG, so he gets more cash than his teammates. So he's going to get armor behind it.
I mean, they will be getting 2,400 for the loss bonus, so as long as he buys down to like 2K, he's fine. So that's exactly what he does. Yeah, like you said, he had earned a little bit of extra cash between the SMG kill with the ump and also that bomb plant. So he feels comfortable going for a Deagle armor. We'll see if he has impact on the round with that, or if it's just going to be money spent for no reason. They've already lost Rush to a fight with Steel. The FAMAS wins in that battle. It is armorless pistol for everyone else, so pretty soft targets for the CT side to chew through.
It's been a little bit since I've seen the Tech 9 in play for Skadoodle. I appreciate it.
Every once in a while, you'll see a Tech 9 or a 5.7, you're like, oh, hey, that gun still exists. I forgot about that.
And that's still just not checking his corners. FAMAS gain for Tarek. But yeah, I remember when they changed the Tech 9, some people were calling it a buff because you didn't have to spam it, you could tap it, and it was more accurate while moving. But people have realized the running spraying was what made it pretty ridiculous. So I respect the choice from Skadoodle, who is just going to drop it at a first chance he can to pick up that Deagle. So 3 Deagles And with ATG pushing up here, he has support from another player. This should just be the blender. Okay, Skadoodle. Never mind. He gets 2, picks up an M4, has a flash. And you know what? Another bomb plant would be amazing for Cloud9. But it's not going to happen. Effies will peek and catch him as he tries to cross. So Torqued, they will pick up the clean 3 rounds. Although C9 were able to get 1 bomb plant out of it. So this first buy will include an opponent, Skadoodle.
That's one of the ultimate questions, too. Like, obviously, we expect Skadoodle to op throughout the entirety of the series. Is Steel capable of matching the output from Skadoodle? Scoreboard would indicate no. Unfortunately, they have not been able to deal with the op presence. I think that Steel is a perfectly competent hybrid, being able to switch between rifle and op. But, I mean, a dedicated opper like Skadoodle is probably going to, beat you around a little bit. And he's been having a field day with Torqued, sitting at 21-7, top of the scoreboard for Cloud9. The first buy does come in, and it's full utility for everyone. That's the beauty of that bomb plant, too. They had so much cash. The amount of kills they were picking up certainly helped as well. That extra kill cash going into the bank accounts. Steel's going to be holding on long. There's the pop flash. Tries to time the shot. Smoke's down behind him. He'll drop his own smoke to try and retreat. And as he tries to escape, he's actually getting hung up on the wall. Not sure what happened there. He's got to be careful. His teammate was right behind him, but his teammate is now dead. Steel's got to keep his head on a swivel. Turns back around, hits 1 shot, but that's all he's got time for. Sabrosa and company trying to come through connector, and they do get that first kill. There's more action developing here. The bomb still hasn't even made it up to the site. It's all the way back in mid. They might actually catch this bomb off, which could win the round single-handedly. Skadoodle's now all the way pushed up on plywood, but the bomb is sitting in mid doors. And that's a massive problem. I don't know if Cloud9 just left it way back behind enemy lines or it was lurking, but that's a mistake, and it leaves Skadoodle in a 1v2.
Oh, he sees this flash and hears footsteps. He knows Sabrosa just peeked and cleared mid. So he feels confident walking in here, and he can't get the quick shot. Sabrosa will get a big 3K when Torque need him to. They'll get the op, they'll toss over to Steel, and that was certainly hectic. Steel gets pop flash, he drops a smoke. There's a second one thrown, I believe that's C9's one. Correct me if I'm wrong. At long A to isolate long A. He'll try to find those fights, try to find those duels towards long A, and catch that Steel off guard. As they scurry through the smoke, good on Steel to find 1. As his teammate wasn't able to find any frags. So Steel gets 1 for his troubles. And rotations were just on point for Torque. This Cloud9 will have to try their hand again with upgraded pistols.
One of the things I like that Torque is doing here is the way they're splitting their defense. I don't know if you're even noticing. It's just a small thing. The members of French Canadians are playing B, and Steel and A2C are playing A. So it's like, okay, they're comfortable playing with one another. They understand what to expect. The communication's going to be on point with each other. So it's not going to hurt them at all. Because these players for French Canadians could have played B when they played for French Canadians. Sabrosa playing close to the wall. The USP is going to come out to get that second target. He runs low on ammo. Still manages to survive. He escapes back behind the smoke. Teammates are going to arrive just in time. Guimond with the 3K. Great work as the French Canadians go with the full house hold on B. That deficit has been cut to 2. Cloud9 will be able to buy, and it should include an op again. But the lead is getting smaller and smaller every single round that passes.
I wouldn't be surprised with actually speaking French on B. And when we need rotations, they just... Well, but then when they need rotations, then they just say, hey, rotate.
Maybe they speak in-game.
I want to know.
They speak in-game when they want to speak French to each other.
There you go.
Steel and A2C have in-game mics muted. I mean, I don't know.
Because I turned voice off, but when those 3 were dead, they're obviously speaking French between each other.
Yeah.
So it could be some crazy. I imagine when they're clutching and Steel and A2C are dead, they'd speak French. But it's an interesting dynamic, the Canadian dynamic. That's Sabrosa. First time he's done this, is automatic going to be prepared for it. He is. He jiggles it out, baits Sabrosa to peek, and he will find the frag. So they have cleared out top drop. That nade will deal damage as Tarek finds an opener towards B. As Effies will get to practice his English as he calls for a rotation. So you will see ATZ will rotate over, but it leaves Steel completely alone with an op towards the A site. In a moment, he may be faced with his biggest task yet. Skadoodle swinging on him, and he will win the opening duel, so Stewie's going to peace out. It looks like this is just going to be a B hit, and we'll see how ready Torque they're going to be for this.
A2Z's actually got a pop flash ready for Effies. He's going to throw that one up and over the wall, but Effies doesn't actually see anything. So if they were pushed up a little bit further, that could have been huge. That could be 2 kills before he goes down, brings things down even lower. But they're rotating off. That lack of vision when he jump peeks towards B is causing them to rotate over towards A. It's a huge mistake, a blunder for Torque, as it's going to make them find themselves in the awkward situation of a 3v4 post plant on the B bomb site. The bomb's going to touch pay dirt in just a second here. Stewie's already boosted up on top of the tree, and the bomb goes down and they realize what's happened. And I think at this point, they're probably not even going to go for it. You know, they're pretty far away from the play, and it seems like based on their static positions and lack of movement, they have no intentions of going for the retake.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate, because as a CT, right, you're a man down, you need a peek for info. And as you said, FE's peeks didn't see anything whatsoever, and Steel, having no map control towards A, just gambles and calls for the complete rotation. So C9 get 12. The bright side is Torque hang on to those armor, the head armor, they hang on to the little bit of utility, and more importantly, the op and rifles. So Torque, they're still well off in the cash department. They will get another full buy, no worries there. But C9 get ever so scary close towards that number of 15. That is ever so daunting once it gets put up on the board.
Skadoodle again gets to keep that op in play. We'll see if that duel between him and Steel will ever really occur. Still waiting for a 1-to-1 battle. Torque's got plenty of utility. It was wise to save there. Their money is kind of getting lower and lower here, so smart decision, probably get called at some point by Steel, realizing, hey, there's just not really much chance for us to get back into this round. Let's not just waste it by trying to get aggressive. That's how we found ourselves in this position to begin with, was that aggressive play from Sabrosa that gave an early start to the T-side, or T-side round for that matter. Steel puts a shot into the body of Tark. Tark will escape with 6 HP. So it could have been a kill early on for Torque, but it is damage dealt that will cause Tark to play a little bit more passive. Looks like they want to try and go for some sort of drop room control. FE's is playing E-Box. Has to be careful. He's jiggle peeking. Now he's spotted them, and he'll fall back into E-Box. His teammate Sabrosa now rotating over, and they'll go with a 2-man hold. Sabrosa peeks. Easy kill onto Rush. Does take a little bit of damage, but nice shooting there from Sabrosa.
A little bit of bait and switch works out for Torque. Automatic completely alone and isolated in drop room. And more importantly, Torque have full plat control. I mean, Stewie's going to start to push up now. But look what they have for utility. 1 molly, 2 smokes. Torque on flashes only. So this is going to be a difficult hold. And it really comes down to the bait and switch that Gimon and Effie's are doing here. The cubby isn't going to get cleared. The flash comes in. Gimon not going to peek. The second flash will go, and this is going to make Cloud9 go, and both positions get cleared at the exact same time. Automatic from drop. The players from plat clear the cubby. And now this retake. This might be another round where Torque might just save the exact same guns.
Yeah, I would think that makes perfect sense. Sabrosa does seem like he wants to stick around for a little while, maybe catch someone pushing through a smoke thinking that they are falling back. But Cloud9's too disciplined right now to do that. They're not going to make that mistake. So now that the smoke's fading, he goes to drop a flashbang. It's a gun thrown away there. And I'm sure there's a little bit of frustration being muttered in the mics right now for Torque, as there was no need to go for that play. At best, he gets a kill, and then he starts to run, and they kill him anyway. So they were going to trade it regardless of what he did. He could have escaped. So that'll be one more gun they're going to have to buy up. And he did not exactly have the cash to make that decision. Wisely, Cloud9's actually going to counter boost some of these players out of drop room to get them further away. Tark still dies. They will be able to pick up that op, so that's the good news. Stewie was right there. But that was the reason for that. They wanted to counter boost him out so he wouldn't have to run towards A, where they know the CT side had already rotated out, and potentially give them an op. But unfortunately, he doesn't make it far enough away from the bomb.
This could be one of those later round turning points if Torque are able to win it. I mean, Cloud9 still have cash, so Torque definitely have to string a couple more rounds together here. They have to break the streak and then win 2 in a row again themselves. As Steel set himself up perfectly for a mid pick, but Tarek's movement catches Steel just a little off guard. Down to half health he'll go as he has to follow the way back, as he'll meet up with Armin towards long A. And they've already pulled someone off B, so Sabrosa is immediately just going to rotate over.
I don't know if you caught that, but there was an accidental Bison buy right at the beginning of this round. FE's bought a Bison and had to drop down and buy himself. No. And so there's a Bison in spawn, if anybody's interested. A2Z on the other side of the smoke. That deep smoke was the T-side smoke. The short one was his. He dropped it to prevent the push. So now he'll fall back to Plywood. They've got one playing Humpty Dumpty. We'll see how high Sabrosa can play before he falls. Hopefully he doesn't break into pieces. As he drops down, he decides he doesn't want to stick up there too much longer. He'll move close towards the wall in mid. Cloud9 still being very slow and methodical with their approach. Stewie hasn't even pushed into mid double doors. Barely moving at this point is Cloud9. They've reached the snail's pace as they're trying to throw down the smokes and flashes for this A bomb site take. There's a counter flash from A2Z that actually blinds Tarek. It's a huge move from A2Z that gets them 2 kills. Sabrosa playing close to the door does get one, but dies immediately thereafter. FE's on the other side of that smoke. Automatic's going to push through. It's an easy kill, and it's all up to a Skadoodle in the site. He's got the bomb. He tries to plant. Steel's not going to let him, or is he? Skadoodle's able to get away somehow. He's got the up. He's up on top, looking for a shot to put into the bodies of these guys on the CT side, but unfortunately not going to happen today. Torqued will grab their double-digit round. They've pushed to 10 now. They still have the op in play, which is great, and the money for the T side is kind of a little bit rough. Like, Tark's down on 3,100. Yeah, there's guys that can buy. Skadoodle can get his op, but this is a breakpoint round. If Torque can win this, they break the money for Cloud9. It's exactly where they were at in that first half, when they had an opportunity to break the money for Cloud9 and give themselves extra rounds on top. This time they need to do it. This time they need to deliver.
I don't know about you, but I'm starting to see some, at least for teams that aren't practiced, CT side is typically going to be better. So you can start to see this from Torque. As Stewie going to be trying to run out first. Galil looking at the floor to not get flash, and he avoids all of them. He'll clear Guimond, but Guimond actually wins that initial duel, but immediately C9's firepower will strike back with the trades they need. Question is, can they get to the site and plant safely? And this boost from Tarek may just secure that. As Armin gets to site and he makes his presence known, and it's just Russian, not today. It's Armin to find a big 3K back-to-back. He gets 2 in the previous round, 3 here. Torque have broken C9's money. We could be looking, I mean, 3-round loss. They're going to buy next, but we're getting very close. Torque can, looking more comfortable on their CT side, and rotations have been very impressive from Torque.
Yeah, you're starting to see a small amount of potential for this team. Like, this was a team we really didn't know what to expect much of coming into this. We weren't really sure how they were going to play, whether or not this sort of split French-Canadian Torque roster would really work. We expected it to be very puggy, and on the T side, yeah, it kind of was. But the CT side is looking a lot more strict and rigid, and furthermore, you're seeing like that power, that fragging power that they've got. I mean, everyone is delivering. Effie's is the only one that's really struggling. He's at the bottom of the scoreboard, but everyone else is really hitting their stride in this second half. So great work from Torque coming out here on their CT side. It's a 2-man advantage early as Steel hits that shot with the AWP. A2Z's going to drop one more on Tark before finally going down. A gun's been gifted over to Rush, but it is just automatic in Rush. Armorless M4, armorless P250 against 4 CT side members of Torque.
Steel still holding this close to wood. He may be in trouble, but he has help from Sabrosa. As the double ops will start to ring out, and it's just Russian and M4 holds for the peak, but Steel hits a nice op shot, all things considered. 13-12, and it is just going to be AKs from C9. No op for Skadoodle, and this is where we could see another quick play. We've seen Stewie try to jump out plan already with a Galil. It could happen again. He was able to dodge all the flashes. C9's trades were good. It's just Torque are doing a nice job of finding map control on the opposite bomb sites, and getting good reads and knowing when to just pull players. Their basic numbers game, their quick maths, has really been on point.
I had a mild chuckle there at the hesitation from Skadoodle to buy that AK. Stewie's actually going to die on long. That's the op coming in. Steel gets the kill right off the bat. Great work for for Torque, for that matter, to find that very early kill. We're starting to see the same play style that Cloud9 picked up late in that first half from Torque, getting more aggressive, feeling more confident with their aim, pushing issues early, and finding kills. Guimond and Sabrosa doubling up on Broken Wall. We also saw this from Cloud9. They've got 2 players in the corner. One's boosted up on the boxes. That's Tark. But the man advantage early for Torque as the clock ticks down to 1:10. Effie's again playing drop room. It appears in general that the 2 players drop room are having a hard time. Maybe because drop room is pretty difficult to play.
Drop's always a rough go. As automatic, we'll be able to get in here for free. Effie's playing the safe crouch hold towards that window. Sabrosa will be in chicken coop, so pretty safe positions for Torque, although they do have this off fairly aggressive towards Plat and automatic. A nice flash off the floor will catch Effie's. With 38 seconds, look at all the damage dealt from these mollies and tongue shots from Torque. Only takes a couple M4 bullets. They're all within 1-shot headshot potential. As here comes Skadoodle and Co. out towards Plat. Sabrosa from Chicken Coop still alive and kicking, as he will get sprayed down from Skadoodle, and it's all on Armin. Now, he has time and he has the flank, and not only that, utility in the HP on C9 is not great. I mean, non-existent.
Sabrosa just missed a massive shot on that player. Broken Wall would have made it a 2-on-1 in the other direction. Skadoodle's holding for the flank, and he's going to pick up the 3K with the AK. Of all things, they'll be able to grab that off just in time, and it will be Cloud9, who now have a 14-12. That AK work from Skadoodle might make you look at that op and go, hey, you know, I'll op for a little bit if you want, with the way that he was able to hold things down. Skadoodle very rapidly approaching 30 kills here in this first map. He's sitting on 27 and 13. Massive performance from the opper for Cloud9.
Pretty much this round, I'd say, determines the game, of course.
Yeah, I would agree.
Almost goes without saying, but I feel like I'll be that guy. C9 will be doing this boost like they did in the previous round. Fairly safe unless a Molly and an Opper are able to punish you for it. Just look at the utility on Torqued, however. Only 2 smokes remaining, the round just started. So there's a lot of wiggle room here for C9. As I imagine Automatic would love to get back in towards this drop room, but this time Torqued's answer is to shove 2 players into it and have full trust that Gimon can hold that broken wall. That's a missed smoke.
Gimon on the other side of the broken wall with that UMP. Waiting for the push to come through from Cloud9 right now as they all just sit back in tons. Again, Cloud9's been very systematic in their approach. Slowly taking control of the map, using their utility to gain control.
Look at A2C.
I think that's why you're seeing 4 players stacked on B too. I mean, this lurk from A2Z coming in on the backside of the flank, they know that it's going to be a B play. So they've actually got 4 players here. Effie's actually cycles out and heads towards the window. Maybe Gimon, who plays from anti-flash, he peeks it out, dies almost immediately, only gets 1 kill, steals on site, he's hiding behind Fountain, trying to hit the shot, and he does. But again, it'll be A2Z on the flank, who has to find a couple of kills here to clutch things out for Torqued. And like you said, this could be the coup de grace for Cloud9, the chance to send Torqued packing on map 1.
Rush spotted. A2Z wants to take this initial fight, but he's going to get smoked off. Makes things more difficult as Rush will hold the smoke. 15 C9, Torqued, 2-round loss. I mean, the most cash is between, wow, Gimon with 2,500. That's it. As that was just so difficult. I mean, Torqued had the great read. They had the flank. It's just when you run out of those mollies and C9 are able to put up the wall, it's so hard to fight behind them. They try their best, and Gimon perhaps needed more from Broken Wall. But this is just going to be seen on a map point, on their map pick. So, Torqued's showing something on their CT side, but perhaps if you have to think, if they do show a little bit more on the T side, get a couple more rounds, I mean, we could have seen Torqued up 1-0 in a BO3.
Gimon, gonna throw down an 8. It is CZ's coming out for the CT side. I mean, there is a potential here. CZ has really shown just how powerful it can be in the last couple of months. There's a flashbang in for Cloud9. Gimon wants to react off of it, but they don't actually push out too far. Skadoodle's holding the line. I think Tark's is going to get a free shot. Nope, he actually shoots his teammate in the back a little bit. Peppers up Skadoodle, who's down to just 16 HP. They're going to fall back off Broken Wall. There's another flank coming in from Steel. He gets gunned down quick. The A site's under their control. Stewie's already made it up into the A bomb site. So the bomb's going to siphon off, head back towards A, and this should be an easy couple of kills coming in from Stewie. Spray's a little bit sloppy, but he keeps it going just in case that second player peeks. Finally, A2Z shows himself, and it will be a kill there that nets him an AK if he wants it. He sticks with the ump. The Molly's landing. He's jumping on top of him. He's made it up to the APC, but that's the end of that one. It will be Effie's in a 1v4 with the CZ, and this should be all but done and dusted. Cloud9's going to get the plant, and that's pretty much game.
I'm impressed, honestly. I mean, I didn't really believe after the first half. And I mean, rightfully so, but Torqued showed you that their CT side had some structure. People started to find their own stride. They're playing spots they're comfortable in, and they're winning aim duels. As I still wouldn't sleep on Effie's. He gets an AK, gets the reload in. But no, he will go down to Tarek. I mean, Torqued did get more rounds, actually. Fun fact, Effie's, Gimon, and Sabrosa played C9 Northern Arena Toronto on LAN on Cobble and got 12-4, 12-6 in that area. So, you know what? They beat the previous record.
I mean, they really did better than I expected them to,
yeah.
if I'm being honest. I didn't think that Torqued was going to get that many rounds. Coming into this series, I thought maybe 7 rounds, probably in that area. I thought they could get a couple of rounds. But really, they could have had more. I mean, they could have won this map if they could have just won those breakpoints in that first half. They won a breakpoint in the second half where they caused Cloud9 to eco. If they could have done that in the first half, who knows? We could have been looking at a 14-12 in Torqued's favor there. It's those little, one round can have such a huge implication in the entire game. The consequences, the butterfly effect from that one round would have been massive for Torqued, but instead Cloud9 takes over the map and they win out map 1.
Well, we are going to be heading to the next map that is going to be Inferno, which is Torque's pick. But before I let you go, I want to remind you to get your predictions in. I believe it's locked for the C9 Torque game for the upcoming matches, for example, Ghost and Soar. Get your predictions in and who's going to win. And also, we have a giveaway. So you need to enter. I'm being honest. I mean, it's free. You're watching. Might as well click. You get to enter and to win a Western Digital SSD, a GTX MSI 1050 graphics cards, headsets, and more. Just, I mean, it's free. What more can I say, Buck? How else can I sell something that's free? I'm not really selling it then, am I?
Well, I mean, they would say that the appropriate terminology for what you just did is sellout, and I'm sure in a second it'll be spammed, but yes, I mean, it is free. Like, free stuff is good.
It is.
It doesn't take any effort, really. It's free.
It's free. And so is this ad break. We'll be right back with C9 vs. Torque on Inferno, Map 2. We'll be right back.